In the early hours of March 8, 2014, Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 took off from Kuala Lumpur bound for Beijing, carrying 239 souls aboard a Boeing 777, one of the safest aircraft in the world. Everything seemed routine until the plane reached the boundary between Malaysian and Vietnamese airspace. At 1:19 a.m., Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah's voice calmly echoed over the radio. "Good night, Malaysian 370. Seconds later, the transponder was turned off, and the steel giant vanished from civilian radar, plunging the world into one of the most terrifying silences in modern history. What happened in those minutes of darkness would forever change our perception of global safety and surveillance. Instead of following its route north, military radar revealed the plane made a sharp left turn, crossing back over the Malay Peninsula in a precise and deliberate manual maneuver. MH370 was not just lost, it was being piloted away from any watchful eyes. It climbed to extreme altitudes and then descended, zigzagging as if trying to avoid detection. Why would an experienced pilot take hundreds of passengers into the void of the Indian Ocean? This question has haunted investigators for over a decade, turning every piece of data into a part of a puzzle that refuses to be assembled. The only trace left came not from radar, but from a series of automatic pings sent to an Inmarsat satellite. These signals indicated that after disappearing, the plane continued flying for over 6 hours toward the south, heading for the most isolated place on the planet. There were no distress calls, no goodbye messages, and no debris found during weeks of frantic searching. MH370 became an electronic ghost, a metallic shadow moving silently over the black waters of the Indian Ocean until, presumably, the fuel ran out and the ocean claimed it. Theories about the disappearance are as vast as the ocean itself. The darkest hypothesis points to a deliberate act by the captain, suggesting a meticulously planned mass suicide where he would have depressurized the cabin to leave everyone unconscious before the end. Others suggest a cyber hijack, where hackers could have taken remote control of the navigation systems, making the pilots mere passengers on their own flight. Some even speak of military interceptions and secret cargo, but none of these theories have managed to fill the void left by the absence of hard physical evidence. The anguish of the families is the most painful part of this enigma. With no bodies to bury or wreckage to analyze, grief remains in a state of permanent suspension. Every object found on distant beaches in Africa and Madagascar, a piece of wing here, a piece of fuselage there, brings a wave of hope and despair. This debris confirms the plane crashed at sea, but it doesn't say why. MH370 is an open wound in aviation history, a reminder that even in a world fully connected by satellites and GPS, a 60-meter-long object can simply vanish. Modern technology was put to the test during the searches, which became the most expensive and complex in history. Ships equipped with state-of-the-art sonar swept thousands of square kilometers of the ocean floor, a terrain more unknown than the surface of Mars. However, the ocean kept its secrets with ruthless efficiency. The vastness and depth of the southern Indian Ocean make searching for a needle in a haystack seem simple by comparison. Where MH370 rests today is either a place of deep peace or the scene of a perfect crime that will never be judged. The impact of this mystery on aviation was immediate and drastic. New real-time tracking rules were implemented to ensure no commercial plane loses contact for more than a few minutes. But these measures are just scars from a lesson learned the hardest way possible. The disappearance of the Malaysia Airlines flight revealed the critical vulnerabilities of a system we all believed was foolproof. It showed us that the boundary between total knowledge and absolute mystery is just a matter of a switch being turned off in a cockpit. Many experts focus on the behavior of the flight simulator found in the captain's home, which contained a route plotted toward the southern Indian Ocean, very similar to the path the plane actually took. Was this definitive proof, or just a tragic coincidence in an aviation hobby? The line between proof and assumption is thin, and a man's reputation remains at stake while the world tries to find someone to blame for the inexplicable. The psychology behind a possible deliberate act is as complex as the flight mechanics of the Boeing 777 itself. There is also the mystery of the passengers. Who were those 239 people, and how did their lives cross at that final destination? Stories of scientists, artists, and entire families disappearing in the blink of an eye add a layer of human tragedy to the technical enigma. MH370 is not just a flight code, it is a set of dreams, projects, and affections abruptly cut short. The lack of answers is an injustice echoing through the years, turning the case into a symbol of the human quest for closure. Recently, new underwater audio analysis techniques and the study of barnacles found on the debris have provided new clues about the exact impact site. Scientists believe that water temperature and drift patterns may finally point to the correct coordinates. Science has never given up on MH370, but it fights against time and the forces of nature that try to erase any trace. Every new expedition is a gamble against forgetting, an attempt to give a name and a place to what is now only a painful memory. Popular culture has also absorbed the mystery, with documentaries and series trying to dissect every second of the flight. However, the more it is talked about, the more it seems we move away from the simple truth. The noise of theories often drowns out the cold facts. MH370 has become a modern myth, an urban legend that happened before our very eyes, broadcast live by every news channel on the planet. It is the Mary Celeste of the skies, a ghost ship that doesn't sail but falls toward the eternal. The disappearance forced the world to confront the idea that we do not have total control over everything. We live in an era of constant surveillance where every move is recorded, but MH370 proved that the world is still a vast and untamable place. There is something deeply unsettling about knowing a modern plane can simply turn off and vanish into the night. It challenges our logic and our trust in the technology we created to shorten distances and unite the globe. If the black boxes are found one day, they may reveal an unimaginable human drama, or just the sound of the wind and the sea. The record of the final hours could be the key to the enigma, or just the record of a silent flight into nothingness. The search for the black boxes is the search for the ultimate truth, the only thing that can bring peace to the families and answers to the world. Until then, MH370 will continue to be the darkest chapter in aviation history, written in letters of uncertainty over the deep blue. This mystery teaches us about the perseverance of human curiosity. Even after years of fruitless searches, humanity refuses to accept "we don't know" as the final answer. The case of the Malaysia Airlines flight is the ultimate example that truth is a value worth fighting for, no matter the cost. It unites nations in a common search, breaking geopolitical barriers in the name of an answer that belongs to us all. MH370 is our shared mystery, a lesson in humility before the vastness of the world. As we reach the end of this analysis, we realize that MH370 is more than a plane crash. It is a question mark driven into the heart of modernity. It forces us to look at the sky and the sea with different eyes, knowing that the deepest secrets can be hidden in plain sight. The plane that disappeared continues to fly in our minds, challenging science, logic, and time. The story only ends when the last piece is found, and until then, we are all investigators in search of a light on the horizon. If you felt the weight of this mystery and wish to continue exploring the cases that defy the impossible, this channel is your place. MH370 is just one of many enigmas, proving that the world still has secrets we are not ready to understand. Subscribe so you don't miss the next investigations and help us keep the search alive for the answers history tried to erase. The next secret may be closer than you think, and together we will try to illuminate what the darkness